top v bottom clash on Friday night. Is that something for your preparation, or are you just going to avoid that altogether on the telly?
I think that would be one I have to ask my wife if she'll allow me to watch. But no, in all seriousness, it's we focus on ourselves and our game. We've got a tough challenge coming up on Saturday against a team that have won. I think they won the last 3 or something like that. But we know that that'll be a tough game. But I'll probably have an eye on that game. But I'll probably be more watching it because we play Hamilton the week after, and so we'll be scouting that one from that way. But it'll be with permission.
We've often had conversations about the playing surfaces and sometimes the disadvantages of going and playing on an artificial surface. This weekend, however, the roles are reversed because they play on an artificial surface, they train on an artificial surface, and they're going to be playing on grass this week. Does that give you a bit more of an advantage than normal? No?
Listen, I don't think there's an advantage, disadvantage throughout the course. So I would imagine they've probably trained on grass in preparation for it, but if they haven't, then so be it. I think it's more a mindset thing than anything else. If you go out on the right mindset of, it doesn't matter what we're playing on, I'm imagining that the winters up here were quite strong, and these grass pitches will sort of like slightly turn as well. So we've got to deal with that as, and it's just a case of like being positive with it and getting on with it.
You've come obviously a good few games since the last time you played Raith Rovers. Have they changed in any way? Have you looked at it in a different way for the preparation for this game to how you prepared for it the last time?
I think they've added some players. They've brought some players in the window, but that's what I'm saying about. I really like the way that they go about it, the way that they play. A lot of respect for the manager and how he prepares his team, and they're staying the same way in terms of how they play. And I think it will be a really good game on Saturday.
You mentioned it a little bit earlier, but could that Partick Thistle result be quite, maybe a bit of a turning point in the season, just in terms of instilling that confidence and belief in the players that they can get these big results even when the game goes against them?
I think obviously you use that as evidence, and that's what we said to them after the game. It's that you use that game as evidence to draw upon when, hopefully we never find ourselves in that situation again. But if we do, then it's something to draw on. But we're just now hoping that the momentum from that, we carry that forward into Saturday's game.
And you kind of spoke again about the late goals, and I'm sure you'd rather
they
came a little bit earlier for stress levels, but the fact that they are coming and getting 4 points in the last 2 games from late goals must be kind of really confident in the group that they can go out and do it no matter when in the game it is.
Well, I think it's a great trait to have, like I said, that they never know when they're beat, and they keep going and they keep showing that fight. And again, I made reference to the fitness levels that they've displayed as well. It's all good from our point of view because it backs up the work that we're doing. But the challenge to the group now is to keep that consistency going in level of performances and look to push on now.
And with that kind of 5-game unbeaten run at the moment, is that something you can kind of really begin to build that momentum and confidence and just keep, as you say?
Well, I think what we do is, like I say, is just concentrate on the next game and try and get as many points as we possibly can out of it, and then that builds up over the course of the season. But we won't ever get carried away. We won't allow them to get carried away either way. Really, we're not going to let them be too down. We're going to keep encouraging them, but at the same time, if we keep this run going, we're going to stay on top of them and don't let them get carried away either.
The weekend obviously starts off on Friday with top v bottom in the championship. Ayr and Hamilton coming together there. Is that going to be your preparation for the game on Saturday, having a wee sit in front of the telly watching what's happening with your...
Nah, not for me personally. Maybe a few of the other lads. I try not to look into any other results in the league, to be honest, that too much. It's just my sole focus is on our games, our preparation for our games, and getting 3 points on a Saturday or a Tuesday for us, and then seeing at the end of the season where we are then. But not for me personally, no.
Looking at your preparation for the game for Saturday, obviously, it's one of these ones where you'll know how folk above you have done before, so that might help obviously with where you plan on being Saturday night.
Yeah. again, I think maybe some boys will look at it into more depth, but again, I will try and just, my sole focus will be on our game, and if there's a few rings around the change room of teams losing, then hopefully it will give boys even more motivation to want to go and get 3 points if that's what they need. But for me, yeah, it's just solely focused on us and getting 3 points.
And Raith Rovers obviously going to give quite a tough opposition to yourself this weekend. How have you been preparing this week for that?
To be honest, like every other week with hard training sessions on the ground, obviously specifically for Raith and how they play on the training ground. But yeah, we know what we have to do. We know their strengths. We know their weaknesses and how we want to exploit them weaknesses. But yeah, we're ready. We're ready.